And I have gotten pressed for by people in my circle to ask this next one. And I do feel like you've already done such a good job explaining the different types and pros and cons. But the one that always comes up in my life and my coaching, sustainability coaching, is glass versus plastic. So let's do the mic drop and be the end all be all. What do you think?
Yeah. And it's, again, it's complicated, but I think overall, you look at the plastic industry and the oil and gas that's used and the process and the microplastics and the leaching. And there's just a lot there that I think needs to be considered. Plastic is not infinitely recyclable. So even if you were to recycle it a bunch of times, eventually it would just have to be it would break down and have to be either incinerated or put in a landfill to where it takes, as we know, hundreds, thousands of years to break down. And so there's that. On the glass side, right, it's sand. There is a limited amount of this really high quality sand that's out there and creating really big, like, beauty glass. And often the mining or the collecting of this sand can actually cause damage to environments around the world as they're kind of acquiring this sand. And then transporting the sand, obviously, and manufacturing with it has a much higher carbon footprint overall than plastic does. And so, again, it's kind of what in our industry, we have what's called an LCA, or a life cycle analysis. And so for those that are really interested in like what's truly happening, these LCAs are becoming much more easier to obtain. And I actually think most brands are going to be sharing these LCAs with consumers as they get more and more informed. But there's kind of a pro and con to basically all of these different materials. I am not as anti-plastic as I think a lot of people are, because I think there is a functional place for it to exist in our market. I obviously think that we need to just be more aware of how to improve recycling rates, how to do it to where in formats to where it's, we're using far less plastic than this kind of like huge amount of plastic that's kind of overdoing it. But I also really love glass. I love the beauty of it. I love the weight of it. I love that it's infinitely recyclable. And I hope that our recycling streams in the US improve so that we can recycle glass